Welcome to the meeting of the Structural Pest Control Board. Today is Wednesday, February 25th at 9 a.m. We'll now establish quorum. Sophia, please call the roll.
Thank you. President Mendenhall,
Here.
Vice President Finley,
Here.
Board Member Paxson,
Here.
and Board Member Tingen.
Here.
We have 4 members present. We have a quorum.
Okay. With quorum established, we'll proceed with our agenda. So will everyone please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Do you have our? Wait, the picture. Okay. So we'll move on to agenda item 3, which is the petition for reinstatement for Douglas C. Bray. The purpose of this hearing is for the board to consider a petition for reinstatement from Douglas C. Bray. I'll now turn the meeting over to the administrative law judge to begin the hearing.
All right. Good morning. Thank you. I'm Christopher Dietrich. I'm an administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings. I'll be presiding over today's petition for reinstatement hearing. Mr. Bray, are you present? Thank you. Why don't you come on forward to the table, sir?
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Bray. So we'll get started with the hearing momentarily. I'm just going to go over a few ground rules that we're going to follow for the hearing and just give you an orientation of what to expect. We have a Deputy Attorney General, Ms. Lee. She's joining by video, so you may be able to see her on the screen behind you. What's going to happen first, she's going to present some background on the prior discipline in this matter. After that, you will have an opportunity to make a presentation under oath why you feel your license should be reinstated. We're going to be referring to some documents throughout this hearing. They were uploaded to our electronic evidence system. It includes your petition as well as some documents from the prior discipline. Did you receive those documents, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And an adequate chance to review them?
Yes.
Okay. So, and then after you're done making your presentation, the Deputy Attorney General is going to ask you some questions. And then when she's done, the board members have an opportunity to ask you questions. We have a court reporter here who's going to take down everything that's being said verbatim. She's over there. So a few things that we can do to make her job easier is that we want to just make sure we speak slowly and clearly whenever we're speaking. A little bit slower than we might in our normal everyday conversations. And also we want to make sure that we all avoid talking over each other. If she is having trouble hearing you or keeping up with what's being said, she may interrupt from time to time. And if she asks you to repeat something, please just repeat verbatim what you said previously. She's not asking you to elaborate. She's just asking you to repeat it so we have a clear record. Did you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. And just to confirm, sir, you are representing yourself today, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and then just one quick point also as well is that when questions are being asked, make sure you just pause about half a second to make sure the question's fully done before you start answering, okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. With that, we are on the record before the Structural Pest Control Board to review the petition for reinstatement of Douglas C. Bray. This is Office of Administrative Hearings, case number 2026-010601, and Structural Pest Control Board case number 201129. My name is Christopher Dietrich. I am an administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings, and I have been to preside over this matter. Before we went on record today, it was established that a quorum of the Structural Pest Control Board is present. May I please have the appearance of our court reporter for the record?
Maria Esquivel Parkinson, CSR number 10621.
Thank you. Appearance of the Deputy Attorney General.
Good morning, Your Honor. Deputy Attorney General Stephanie Lee, on behalf of the Attorney General's Office, pursuant to Government Code Section 11522.
Thank you. And also present is the petitioner Douglas C. Bray. Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
And you are representing yourself today, is that correct?
Yes,
And you are aware that you could have had an attorney represent you at your own expense?
yes.
Okay. So before we started the hearing and went on record, I did explain some of the procedures to the petitioner. I'm going to give a shortened summary of those procedures while we are on record. As I explained, the Deputy Attorney General will proceed first to present the petition and provide an orientation in this matter. After that, the petitioner has the right to make a presentation under oath on his own behalf to explain why he believes that his license should be reinstated. The petitioner may also call witnesses to testify on his behalf. The petitioner and any witnesses will be subject to questioning by the board members and the Deputy Attorney General. The board is particularly concerned with any rehabilitation that the petitioner may have engaged in since the prior discipline, and the petitioner is reminded that the board has had the benefit of reading the petition package and is not necessary to repeat everything that's included in that package verbatim. After the hearing, the board is going to go into closed session to review the petition, and after the closed session is concluded, you will receive a written decision in the mail. So you're not going to find out about the outcome today. You're going to get a decision in writing in the mail. Did you have any questions, Mr. Bray, before we get started?
No.
Okay, thank you. With that, I will hand it over to Ms. Lee to present the petition.
Thank you, Your Honor. The matter before this board and the court is a petition for reinstatement of Mr. Bray's applicator's license. That license was first issued by the board on December 2nd, 2008 in branches 2 and 3. Subsequently, there was a board accusation case filed in number 2011-29. The basis for that accusation was a substantially related conviction out of Contra Costa County. That conviction was dated November 17th, 2010 for a single felony count of Penal Code Section 503, also known as embezzlement. The underlying incident from that conviction occurred between 2007 and 2009, according to the accusation. And Mr. Bray was found to have been unlawfully and fraudulently appropriating property, essentially sports equipment, owned by the Antioch Youth Sports Complex, which was under the care and control of the respondent, or the petitioner, by virtue of Mr. Bray's employment at that sports complex. As a result of that accusation case, his license was revoked by default decision and order effective October 22nd, 2011. From that case, there is outstanding cost recovery in the amount of $595, which will need to be paid by Mr. Bray if a license is reinstated and issued. Your Honor, at this time, we have a exhibit book that we'd like to collectively mark and admit as Exhibit 1. May we continue?
Do you intend to just summarize the documents, or do you want me to, are you offering it at this time, or do you intend to further summarize the document?
If I could just further summarize briefly.
Go ahead and then offer it when you're finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The board's exhibit book, Exhibit 1, consists of the board's jurisdictional documents, which includes the board letter confirming today's hearing, Mr. Bray's confirmation of that letter. It includes Mr. Bray's full petition and related documents, which includes the petitioner guidelines, his petition, rehabilitation evidence that was submitted along with his petition, which includes an order for the dismissal of that conviction that we just spoke about, certification of completion for an operator's branch 2 course, and a certificate of completion for a field representative's branch 2 course. It also includes the underlying disciplinary documents, including the default decision and order, the accusation, and a memorandum regarding the outstanding costs that are owed. And finally, it includes the certified license history for Mr. Bray's applicator's license.
Thank you. Do you offer Exhibit 1 at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bray, did you have any objection to the board reviewing and considering the documents that have been collectively marked as Exhibit 1?
No, sir.
Exhibit 1 is admitted for all purposes. Thank you. Anything further, Ms. Lee?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bray, now will be your opportunity to make your presentation. First thing I'm going to do is swear you in. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you will give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Please state and spell your full name for the record.
Douglas, Douglas, C. Bray, Bray.
Thank you. With that, sir, the floor is yours to make your presentation. Go ahead.
Yeah, back 10 years ago, I had a heart attack and a stroke. Is why I'm trying to sit here and tell you guys what happened to me. And what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to get my pest control operator's license. But there's a whole lot of stuff that has to happen before that. But that really, in a nutshell, this heart attack and stroke led me the way you see me now. I use a walker to get around. I'm not able to walk more than about 5 feet without falling flat on my face. But that gives you a little background about me. The bad part of it was way back when, 14 years ago, I did something that was really bad. Yes, I did have in my possession baseball equipment. And I did plead guilty to a felony, and that's what started this whole ball rolling. It was a really bad time. I don't think I was a good person back then, but I've changed now. I've changed, and I'm what you see today. 10 years ago, I had a stroke and a heart attack. That stroke left me in the hospital for 30 days in a coma. They didn't find out for 2 weeks that I was there that I'd even had a stroke. Yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to do is have my applicator's license restored, and then we can move on from there. That's all I've got.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bray. I'm now going to hand it over to Ms. Lee for questioning. Go ahead, Ms. Lee, when you're ready.
Thank you. Mr. Bray, how old are you?
For 64.
Do you provide I'm sorry, go ahead.
Had a birthday a day ago.
Okay, happy belated birthday. Do you provide any financial support for anybody other than yourself?
No, I don't.
Since your conviction in 2010 and losing your license, have you held any long-term jobs?
No. I was employed with the Contra Costa County Public Safety Department, which is the county hospital. I was a security officer for them.
What years?
This was back in 86 to 12 years from 86.
Okay, and any employment since your conviction in 2010?
No, and after my heart attack and my stroke, I've not been able to be employed anywhere.
Okay. Do you have a specific job opportunity lined up if you are to get your applicator's license reinstated?
What I'm really trying to get is I'm trying to get my operator's permit from the state. Once I have the operator's permit, I have all the equipment in my storage. To start, I can start as soon as the as soon as the board gives me my operator's permit. I do know that there's some work that has to be done testing wise, but I'm available. I can be tested whenever you would like.
So eventually, do you plan to open up your own business in structural pest control?
Yes.
Okay. What about in the interim? Are you going to be working? Do you plan to work as applicator somewhere?
No, I know what they told me I have to do is I have to get my applicator's license, field representative license, and operator's license. That's what they told me. Once I
Okay.
have the operator's license, I can actually open up my own business and get that going off the ground.
Okay. Besides the two courses that you took last year, one for the field representative and one for the pre-operator, have you taken any continuing education or trainings related to this work since 2010?
Just the trail. Well, I wasn't able. This right here, as I told you before, I was in a coma for 30 days. When I came out of the coma, they told me that's as good as he's going to be. I was laying in a bed. From that bed, I've gotten up, rehabilitated myself, made myself at least half of a man. I left a lot of it in the hospital.
Okay. You may be required by the board to take the licensing examination again. If so, would you agree to do that? Are you willing to do that?
Yes, hon.
Prior to you having, so first of all, let's talk a little bit about your conviction. You had your conviction dismissed. Is that right?
Yes, that was last year.
Okay. And prior to having your conviction dismissed, were you placed on probation right after your conviction?
Yes.
Did the court order you to fulfill any restitution obligations to the sports complex?
No, hon.
Okay, so you did not have any restitution that you had to.
I never paid a dime to anybody.
So, but Mr. Bray, what you're saying, when you're answering no, is the word you're saying after no, hun? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't mean to say that.
I understand. So just please, it could be viewed as a diminutive. So please refrain. Thank you. And I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating the last question, Miss Lee?
Yes. I just wanted to ask you about what, if any, restitution obligations the court ordered for your probation. Was there any restitution obligation?
They never made me pay back anything of the equipment that I had in the storage.
Okay. And sitting here today, do you have any arrests or pending criminal cases that the board may not be aware of?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Bray, besides what you've already stated, are there any other changes in your life or your lifestyle that have helped you stay on course and not reoffend or pick up any new criminal arrests or convictions?
Not really. My disability really keeps me from doing a lot of different things. I have very limited use of my hands, and my left side was mostly affected by the stroke, but I seem to be able to get around from point A to point B. Besides this little buggy here, I have a four-wheel motorized cart that I get around on.
Okay. And how can you assure the board that if your license is reinstated, that you will be free and clear of any new arrests or convictions? Is there anything else that you want to tell the board?
This will never happen again. This was a dark period in my life, and I did some things that I really shouldn't have done. And I am really sorry. I apologize to the board for having to sit here and hear this, but I don't believe this will ever happen again.
Okay. And your employment with the sports complex, was that related at all to your structural pest control work?
No, ma'am.
I don't have any further questions. Thank you, Mr. Bray.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hand it over to the members of the board to ask questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the members' names as they appear on the agenda and ask each of them if they have questions, starting with President Mendenhall.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Bray, for being here today. Certainly appreciate it. So your stated goal is to get your applicator's license, but ultimately to then apply and obtain your operator branch 2 license?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, operator's license for branch 2.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And you've never had the field rep license, is that correct?
No, I have not.
Okay. Are you aware of additional guidelines and requirements necessary to obtain a branch 2 operator license?
I haven't been aware of. I started going into this last year, and I figured out that when this is all obtainable, I mean, it's not rocket science, just testing wise.
There are some, but there are requirements with the branch 2 operator to have, I think, 4 years of field rep 2 experience. 2 years. So you have to have your branch 2 field rep license for a minimum of 2 years before you can get an operator's license. Are you aware of those obligations and requirements?
No.
Okay.
But now I am aware.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just not a quick jump from getting my applicators to taking the operator's test and boom, here I go, 90 days. There's some other requirements involved in that as well. I did research.
It's not a problem.
Okay.
There's many companies out there that will hire me. Antex Pest Control is one. And McCulley's Pest Control is the other one. They're right in Brentwood.
All right. So you have some potential employment
Yes.
opportunities to gain experience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bray, would you mind repeating the names of the 2 companies you just mentioned?
McCulley's Pest Control and Antex Pest Control.
Can you spell McCulley's for me?
McCauleys, to believe.
Okay. And the second name, could you spell that one as well?
Antex.
Thank you. And just a friendly reminder, try not to talk over the board members when they're asking questions, just for the sake of our court reporter.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then next, Vice President Finley.
Hey, thank you for being here. I commend you on your experience over the last 10, 15 years in bettering yourself and pulling yourself up and being here today. So thank you for being here. I do have just more on what Scott was asking as far as the experience. There's actually in the field experience needed to become an operator of branch 2 type of work. And so I guess I just want to further go like from your disabilities that you've shared with us, and thank you for being so open with it. Asking, do you feel like you'll be able to get a job with one of these companies and actually have real field experience
Yes,
to be able to then go out and get your operators? It's not just testing. It's not just, oh, I can just, take a lot of tests and get this operator. So I just want to let you know what that path looks like.
yes, I can do that.
Okay. Okay. So you feel comfortable being able to get with a company and going out and getting real life field rep 2 experience.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Why the pest control industry?
It's, when I, back, a year ago when I started stockpiling all this equipment, I bought 2 sprayers. I bought all the chemical I will ever need in my lifetime. But I have 2 industrial sprayers in my storage ready to go.
Okay, but why go down the path just because you did this years ago? Like, why did you pick the pest control industry to go after? Because you saw a good sell on the equipment, or
No,
passion for this industry?
I've always had an inkling to do pest control, but the thing is 10 years ago I couldn't have done this. There's no possible way. I'm actually in a spot now where I can do this, where I can be in a truck, ride around with guys most of the day, and be able to function.
Okay, and you made a comment of you've got all the chemical you need for a long time. How were you able to purchase the chemical?
The chemical was through a place called Chemical Warehouse. They, when I put through my first order was for a product called Bifin. And from there, it just, what I like to do is order at least 2 bottles a month of Bifin.
You've
Yes,
just been stockpiling?
yes.
Okay. And I don't know enough but as far as the licenses that you need to have to be able to buy the chemical, was this just out of state?
No, I don't believe Chemical Warehouse is out of state. They never asked me for a license. They never did nothing like that.
Okay. Okay. So the pest control industry is what you're going after and started
Yes.
stockpiling and.
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Paxton.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Tengan.
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just check any further questions from any board member. Seeing none. Mr. Bray, did you have any further testimony that you wish to provide at this time?
No, I just hope the board gives me back my applicator's license. It's been 14 years since the occurrence happened. It was a really bad time. But I've changed. I'm a better person. I have all my ducks in a row. I now know what direction I'm going in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Did you have, other than the documents you submitted with your petition, are there any further documents you wish the board to review?
No, I know I will have to restudy for my applicator's license again, and I believe take the test again.
Okay, thank you. And then, so no further documents, is that correct, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. And other than yourself testifying, are there any other witnesses you wish the board to hear from?
No.
Okay. I'm now going to ask if the matter is submitted. What that means is that you have had a full opportunity to present the evidence that you wish to present and that the matter is submitted to the board for their decision. Is the matter now submitted, sir?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lee, is the matter now submitted?
Just 2 quick points, Your Honor. The examination requirement is under Business and Professions Code, section 8623.5. And if a license is reissued, then as a condition, the $595 of outstanding cost recovery should also be included. That is our recommendation. We submit.
Thank you. With that, the matter is submitted. The record is closed, and we are now off the record. If you could just stay put for a moment, our court reporter may need a spelling or clarification from somebody. Just a moment.
First order for audit called.
BIFEN. Thank you.
Thank you. And Madam Court Reporter, the end time and estimated page count? Okay, thank you. All right, that concludes our hearing. Thank you for being here, Mr. Bray. I'm going to now pass it over to the president for calling this closed session. Thank you.
Thank
You're free to
you.
go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Bray. All right, so we'll move to items agenda 4 and 5, and we'll adjourn to a closed session.
My friend.
So pursuant to Government Code Section 11126, subdivisions C3, the board will meet in a closed session, discuss and take action on disciplinary matters, including the petitions heard today. And pursuant to Government Code Section 11126A1, the board will conduct the annual performance evaluation and consider the salary of its executive officer. Following closed session, we will return to open session. Agenda item 6, discussion and possible approval of October 1, 2025 board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes. Yes, from Finley.
Yes, from Finley. Do I have a second?
Can I please have the date of the meeting as to your motion so it's real clear for our record?
The October 1, 2025?
Board meeting minutes. So you motion to approve the minutes from the October 1st, 2025 board meeting.
Yes, Finley makes a motion to approve the October 1st, 2025 meeting.
Got it. All right. Do I have a second?
Also, go ahead.
Board Member Paxton seconds.
No, Tengen did.
Dang it. Oh, you beat it to it. All right. I will now open the floor to public comment on this motion.
Just want to make a comment that there were a few minor changes to what was posted. There was just some misspellings of one of the board members' names. But we fixed it. So what is approved and posted online will be the correct version.
All right. Thank you. All right. So with that, motions, and do I have to re-motion?
No.
Public comment?
You do.
Yeah, it's been,
So,
I'll open the floor to now to public comment.
sure.
Yes, all right. Any public comments? Online? Okay. All right. It's been moved and seconded and to approve the October 1, 2025 meeting minutes.
And I'll just add in with those couple technical changes, but to fix the misspellings.
To fix misspellings, all right. That's why I was wondering if we need to like re-motion with the updates, okay. All right. With that, those have been approved. And Sophia, please call the roll.
Thank you. President Mendenhall,
Yes?
Vice President Finley,
Yes.
Board Member Tingen,
Yes.
Board Member Paxton.
Yes.
4-0, motion passes.
All right. Moving on to item 7, California Department of Pesticide Regulation update. We'll now hear from Beth Boss, Senior Environmental Scientist with DPR, who is joining us virtually.
Good morning, members of the Structural Pest Control Board. My name is Beth Boss. I'm a senior environmental scientist with DPR's Enforcement Headquarters Branch. And as you said, I'm here to provide DPR's update to the board. Starting off with some of our structural regulatory training we've conducted recently. Between January and February of this year, DPR, in conjunction with the Structural Pest Control Board, hosted a unique training series for county agricultural commissioners. This training was a one-day virtual session and was an advanced level structural regulatory training for CACs. This training focused on an overview of the Structural Pest Control Board, structural pesticide use enforcement, resources and referrals to the Structural Pest Control Board, enforcement response options, structural civil penalties, the appeals process, and standards of review. Additionally, planning has begun for our 2026 basic structural regulatory training, which will be hosted this fall in Irvine, California. Again, in accordance with the requirements of BNPC 8616, this training is developed by DPR and the Structural Pest Control Board. This spring, DPR and the Structural Pest Control Board will convene a work group to develop this year's training. Moving on to recent enforcement letters. In September, DPR issued WHS 25-02. This announced the revision to several of the Pesticide Safety Information Series leaflets, otherwise known as PSIS. Specific to the board's interests, the non-agricultural N-Series leaflets N1, N6, and N8 were revised. Updated leaflets can be found on DPR's website under the Worker Health and Safety Education Series page. These are available in English, Spanish, Punjabi, and Hmong. And finally, one other update for you is on February 3rd, DPR announced the availability of the Phase 2 California Council on Science and Technology CCST report. As part of the study, the CCST evaluated alternatives to structural fumigations with sulfonyl fluoride. The study found that few alternative options for whole structure fumigation exist, signaling a need for further research. A copy of this report is available on DPR's website. And with that, that's our report for this meeting. Thank you very much.
All right. I will now open the floor to public comment. Nobody public? Okay. Beth, does anybody have any questions? Anything? Nope. All right.
I have a question. Just there was a training you were talking about in Irvine. DPR and Structural Pest Control Board is doing it. They've done it in the past, correct?
Correct,
Annual
yes.
SRC, yeah, structural regulatory training.
Okay. And what's the success of that been like, and when is it?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we typically have about 80 to 100 county ag commissioners attending. Is that correct?
Yeah, we typically range about 85. In recent years, it's been mostly new staff who have never attended before. But we hope to be able to refresh some staff in the future as well. It's a part of BNPC 8616, which is the regulatory requirement for providing a structural regulatory training to CACs before they pursue administrative civil penalties. And so this is the training where we accomplish that in conjunction with the Structural Pest Control Board.
Okay, so
we do one in the north and one south.
Every year.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Well, we actually alternate between the two. So this year we'll have it in Irvine. Last year we hosted it in Dublin.
Yeah, in the Bay Area.
And it's for the county ag.
County ag commissioners.
Okay.
Training for them.
It's training for them.
If the board members want to attend,
perfect.
Let me know.
You and I had gone to it years ago down in Irvine.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is open if you guys want to attend.
She was talking about it and wanted to know. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments for Beth? No. All right. Beth, thank you so much for your updates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to agenda item 8, Executive Officers Report. Sophia, will you please present the EO report?
Thank you. Item 8A is the budget update. And do we have Kayla Van Lint online?
This is the moderator. Yes, she is online.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Kayla is our new budget analyst over at the Department of Consumer Affairs, and she's going to give you the budget update.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. My name is Kayla Van Lint, and I am a budget analyst with the DCA Budget Office. I want to thank the board and executive staff for allowing me a few minutes to present on agenda item 8A, the board's expenditure projections and fund condition statements. The first page we will go over is the board's expenditures, which is page number 18 of your materials. And then these, I'll wait until I can see the, okay, perfect. These projections are based on actual data through fiscal month 6 for the 077 fund. This report includes 2024 through 2025 actual expenditures in green, as well as 2025 through 2026 year-end actual expenditures in blue and orange, which also includes a budget allocation breakdown. As we move to the end of the document, you will see the board had a beginning base budget of approximately $6.505 million and is projected to spend approximately $6.222 million, creating a reversion to the board's fund of $283,000 or 4.35%. The next document I will be going over is the board's revenue, which is page 19 of your materials. This report includes receipts collected through December, and I will go further into these projections as we transition to the next page. The next page is for Fund 0075 on page 20. It is the fund condition statement. As a reminder, we read this document from top to bottom and left to right. The board began 2024 through 2025 with a beginning balance of about $2.591 million. The board collected roughly $5.425 million in revenues, with $702,000 from initial license fees, $278,000 from license renewals, and about $4.445 million from the issuance of citations, fines, delinquent fees, and other revenue. The board expended approximately $5.905 million, which includes $523,000 in direct draws to the fund for statewide pro rata and pension payments. The board ended 2024 through 2025 with $1.635 million in reserve balance, or about 3.0 months in reserve. For the current year, the board began with a beginning balance of approximately $1.635 million. The board is projected to collect revenues of approximately $6.425 million, with $790,000 coming projected from initial license fees, $329,000 from renewal fees, and a little over $5.306 million from the issuance of citations, fines, delinquent fees, and other revenues. The board is projected to expend approximately $6.609 million between authorized expenditures and direct draws to the fund for statewide pro rata, leaving the board with a fund balance of $1.451 million, or 2.5 months in reserve. The next page, page 21, is for the 0168 fund. And this is the fund, another fund condition statement. As another reminder, we read this document from top to bottom and left to right. The board began 2024 through 2025 with a beginning balance of about $1.196 million. The board collected roughly $229,000 in revenues, with $168,000 from other regulatory fees and $61,000 from income from surplus money investments. The board did not have any expenditures in 2024 through 2025, and the board ended 2024 through 2025 with approximately $1.425 million in reserve balance. For the current year, the board began with a beginning balance of approximately $1.425 million and is projected to collect revenues of approximately $212,000, with $164,000 from other regulatory fees and $48,000 from income from surplus money investments. This year, the board is projected to expend approximately $204,000, leaving the board with a fund balance of about $1.433 million. The last page that I will be going over is page 22 of your materials, and it is for the 0399 fund and their fund condition statement. The board began 2024 through 2025 with a beginning balance of about $1.925 million. The board collected roughly $532,000 in revenues, with $425,000 from other regulatory fees and $107,000 from income from surplus money investments. The board expended approximately $329,000, which includes $15,000 from direct draws to the fund for statewide pro rata and pension payments. The board ended 2024 through 2025 with $2.128 million in reserve balance, or about 76.2 months in reserve. For the current year, the board began with a beginning balance of approximately $2.128 million. The board is projected to collect revenues of approximately $508,000, with $428,000 from other regulatory fees and $80,000 from income from surplus money investments. The board is projected to expend approximately $335,000 between authorized expenditures and direct draws to the fund for statewide pro rata, leaving the board with a fund balance of $2.301 million, or 81.5 months in reserve. The budget office will continue to monitor the board's revenue and expenditures for all three funds and report back to the board with monthly expenditure projections as we continue to close the fiscal months in the current fiscal year. A few things to note about the board's fund condition statements. The fund condition is a snapshot in time. One of the main factors driving expenditure increases in future years is a result of personal service adjustments. These include general salary increases as well as employee compensation and retirement rate adjustments. The budget office includes a conservative ongoing 3% increase to expenditures on the fund condition statement to account for these ongoing incremental adjustments. Lastly, I'd like to note to the board that any future legislation or unanticipated events could result in the board's need for additional resources, which would create cost pressure on the fund. The budget office will continue to monitor the board's fund condition statement and keep the line of communication with the executive staff open for any future needs or expectations. Again, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present at today's meeting, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, I got a quick question, Board Member Mendenhall. On page 20,
Yes.
Structural Pest Control Board Fund.
Mhm.
So it says total revenues of 2024 to 2025 is 5.425 million. And then the current year, the 25 to 26 is 6.425, which is a whole $1 million more. Then how do we get, then the reserves or the expenditures are like 200,000 more. How do we go down?
You're talking about how we decrease in months in reserve?
Yeah, because we have a whole $1 million more, but we only, the expenditure is only 200,000 more, but we still go down a lot.
And I can, my name is Suzanne, and I can answer that question. So the reason you're going to see 2.5 months in reserve, because the month in reserve, it doesn't only take from the current year, it also take from the budget year 26-27 expenditure. So it is calculating based on the 6,583,000 and not the 6,174,000. So that is why the difference, and that's why it's declining. But then you will see after that it goes up a little bit and then it declines again. So it's comparing.
You're also looking at actuals are actuals, and anything after that are projections. And that's based on if we were to spend everything we're appropriated to spend, which we historically don't.
Likely to go up then?
It's likely to go up, exactly.
So it'll go back up closer to
Exactly.
the 3.
And then you also have to factor in the projected 3% increase that they add in there.
And also additionally, the income from surplus money that is calculated right now, if you look at budget year and budget year +1, it's low. And we are actually working right now with the Department of Finance to increase that projections because the interest rate has been higher. And what we're projecting right now conservatively at 1.5. However, in the past 2 years, it has been way higher than 1.5. So it has been averaging about 4.4%. So that is going to be done in the May revise. So you're going to be able to see it during the May revise update.
The fund condition always looks, for this board at least, always looks a little bit scarier than what it actually is, because it's, worst case scenario, this is what we're appropriated to spend. If we did spend it, this is where we're at. But we don't typically spend everything, if that makes sense.
All right. Because I don't see very many different lines between the actuals and the current year. It's just.
Well, we did have also the fee increase that wasn't recognized in the licensing fee increase wasn't recognized in 24-25 because it went into effect July 1st, which is fiscal year 25-26. And the renewals are due June 30th. So that was the old fee. So that could be a part of it as well.
Okay. All right.
Are there any other questions?
No.
Thank you, Tricia and Suzanne.
Thank you.
Kayla, I'm sorry. Tricia is our solid. Sorry about that, Kayla.
No worries. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kayla. I'll now open up the floor to any public comments or any other comments.
I'll go ahead and finish the EO report and then open it up for public comment again.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. No worries. Okay. Item B, pending regulations. We have one regulatory package that I've been working on, the examinations package. The board voted on this package again in October of 2025. It was approved by legal and submitted to the executive office in December, mid-December. We received approval yesterday on this package from the executive office. So legal today has routed that to agency, which is the next step. Once agency approves, and we project about 30 days there at that office, maybe less. Once they approve, then I can publish with OAL, Office of Administrative Law, for the 45-day comment period. We'll get this package moving along. Any questions on the examination package? Okay. Sunset review. So I'll just begin by providing a short overview of the sunset review process. Under California sunset laws, boards are periodically reviewed by the legislature to determine whether they should continue operating. As part of the process, the board must complete a comprehensive sunset report that evaluates the programs and operations, the enforcement activities, the finances, and the ongoing need for the board. The sunset review also provides our primary opportunity to propose statutory changes to improve efficiency, effectiveness, and consumer protection. The board is currently scheduled to sunset January 1st, 2028. Our sunset report will be due to the legislature sometime in December of this year. The joint legislative sunset hearings are anticipated to be in the spring of 2027. Legislation is introduced in 2027 to extend the board sunset date to what we're hoping, January 1, 2032. And any statutory changes along with that would take effect in January of 2028. So we have begun early preparation of this report. It's like a 400-page document, takes a while, so we have already started that. The report will include recommended statutory changes. Some key policy areas that we're looking at are the fee structure and the revenue model, a comprehensive review of the board's long-term financial structure. Currently, 85% of our revenue comes from WDO-related fees, so we're evaluating ways to reduce the reliance on WDOs. Some potential options that we're looking at include annual or biannual renewal cycles, reviewing and adjusting statutory fee caps, which we're at our caps right now, so that has to happen, increase those. Aligning fees with actual program costs in comparable states, and transitioning company registrations from a one-time fee to a reoccurring renewal structure. So these are just potential options. We're also looking at enforcement and fine ranges, assessing whether current fine ranges remain adequate, and evaluating alignment with recent updates that were just made by the Department of Pesticide Regulation. So what you guys should expect next is that we're in the beginning of this process, and I'm going to bring more details and specific proposals to the board at the summer and the fall meetings. Any questions on sunset? Okay. We'll move on to item D, which is the new WDO reporting system in Connect. This launched officially on November 18th of 2025. And outreach was really the key in making sure this transition went smoothly. We rolled out a targeted email campaigns and website updates. We engaged directly with the industry partners and licensees. We also held one-on-one sessions with many companies to help them get set up and walk them through the process. The goal was really simple: to minimize disruption and make sure everyone felt supported and compliant going into launch. In the fall leading up to launch, we hosted 8 weekly WDO town halls from October 7th through November 24th. The attendance ranged from 81 people to 374 each week. Altogether, we had about 1,800 attendees in these town halls. These sessions included live trainings, system demos, and lots of Q&A. This was absolutely a team effort across DCA Solid, Office of Information Services over at DCA, and our board staff. I especially want to thank Ronnie O'Flaherty with the board, as well as Melissa Zanetta. They really put in a tremendous amount of time preparing materials. Christina Jackson Duran with also assisting on the town halls and getting outreach materials ready, leading the trainings, answering questions, and making themselves available to the stakeholders. Their leadership and commitment really made a difference in how smooth this rolled out. We also had really great technical and logistical support from the IT department at DCA. So the bottom line is the success of the launch is because of the hard work and the collaboration of a lot of people that were involved. I'm really grateful for the effort that went into it. Thank you, everybody. Okay, I'll move on to E, board staffing update. Holly Glassner was promoted to the board's enforcement manager vacancy effective October 31st, her favorite day, by the way. She has been with the board for about 7 years, most recently as the lead of our enforcement unit. She has really stepped into this role with professionalism and strong judgment. She always embraces change and is always looking for ways to improve enforcement operations. She has great rapport with her staff, her peers, and consumers, as well as the industry. So thank you. Congratulations. And that's all I have for my EO report. Are there any questions?
No, just a comment on the agenda item D. Just how amazing it's been. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and just how amazing to see us like come out of the 1980s, 1990s, and come into this new era of like where we should be. And it's been absolutely amazing to see the board step up. And I know we talked about that at that last sunset review, and I was like, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but just to see it happening and going smooth, and the outreach you guys did was absolutely amazing. So thank you again.
Thank you.
I'll just also comment on D. I mean, I was on a couple of those calls, and then I'll set my team on those as well to understand how to go it. We attended, I think, 6 of the 8, just to make sure we didn't miss anything and everything was updated. I thought it went really smooth, and you guys handled it well. You're really patient with a lot of the Q&A, that's for sure. But I think it went really well. It's hard to roll it out, something like that, statewide, virtually. So I think you did a great job.
And it really was, it was a system that, what made it difficult was we couldn't launch and then fix errors. We needed to make sure, kind of like the Connect licensing and the application system. This absolutely had to work.
Yeah.
It's 85% of the revenue. If there was going to be a glitch there, it was going to be detrimental.
Thank you.
So it did. We did have backup plans in case something did happen. And luckily we did not have to resort to those backups.
Yeah. And then I'm excited for a lot of the stuff you mentioned in the sunset review of fee structures and annuals, and looking forward to those details. I think that's going to be really exciting work, but really exciting. So I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, we have a busy year. I say that every year, I think. We really do have a busy year.
Busier than usual.
I know.
But it's going to be exciting.
We could do it.
No doubt.
Thank you. Now you can go ahead and open for public comment.
I'll now open the floor to public comment. All right. Wonderful. Agenda item 9, licensing update. Assistant Executive Officer Melissa Zanetta will present the licensing update.
Well, hello, board president and board members.
Your mic.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
All right.
Perfect. Hello, board president and members. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go over our licensing update. You will see attachment A included in the materials is the licensing statistics report. This report is based on Q1 and Q2 data. Everything looks stable, no real significant trends or concerns. While we do see normal fluctuations, nothing really indicates emerging issues at this time. Does anybody have any questions on that report? Okay.
Looks good.
Okay. So our licensing unit satisfaction survey from July through December of 2025, we received 74 survey responses. Overall, feedback was very positive, with 93% being satisfied with their licensing experience, and nearly 96% felt they were treated with courtesy and respect when working with the board. Most respondents were happy with the timelines and guidance that they've received. Applicants praised helpful communication and online improvements. We also received suggestions for faster response times and clearer online instructions. So we will continue working to streamline and modernize our processes with those in mind. Anybody have questions on our survey responses? Okay. Connect update. So as Sophia mentioned, we launched the new WDO reporting system in Connect on November 18th, 2025. Since then, the new platform has processed over 732 credit card transactions, which is big because the industry's been waiting for the ability to pay online. So that was a big deal. And more than 180,000 activities have been submitted through the new system. Feedback has been really positive. Users really appreciate the convenience of online payments and improved functionality. We're also continuing to roll out enhancements to further benefit users and SPCB staff. Every so often we'll get some feedback on how they think certain things should work or maybe little enhancements, and we always take those into consideration because we still have some time on the project, so we're kind of fitting in additional enhancements as we can get them in there. Anybody have questions on the WDO part of it? Okay. Last year in licensing, we took a really good look at the licensing unit overall as we transition to the online system. And we just worked to restructure the licensing unit by shifting roles around to better align with a new digital workflow. You know, when you go online, things change, processes change. So we really took a good look at who's doing what and how and when. And so we updated duty statements, adjusted classifications where appropriate so that they match the actual work being done. And that effort has really helped to stabilize the unit and set us up for continued modernization. So our new flows and our new roles will continue to benefit us in the long term. Anybody have questions on that? Okay. In Connect currently, our next big project is working to move license renewals into Connect, which is really a big deal. There's a lot involved with our renewals, and so we're really excited to be able to move this process into Connect. Our goal is to have them in Connect by this next renewal cycle. So June 30th, 2026 renewals will be in Connect. And that's going to cover about 8,800 renewals. There's about 8,800 licensees that renew this year, and so they will all be renewing in Connect in their user dashboard. And so we're really excited for that. With online renewals, you will see the renewal processing times cut substantially. I mean, we're talking about going from 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer, depending on how many manual renewals we have to process, to 24 to 48 hours. So it's going to be really good in the long run to really be able to cut that processing time back and get people out in the field and make sure that they can remain out there. There's, no deficiencies. There's a lot less to the process when it's online. So we're really looking forward to releasing that. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, question on that is just, are we, I mean, I think that's going to be a huge change for the field rep and applicators and stuff. Like their company's used to doing it for them. Now they're each going to have their own account, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So are we going to start pushing that out pretty quickly?
Yes, and we already have done outreach for that. So we sent emails to all the licensees that renew this year, and then also the company contacts that we have in our system. So we have started the outreach for that. Basically, to prepare for it, it's not like WDO. We don't need to do as much outreach like we did with WDO, because basically the process is you create an account, which a lot of people already have because they've submitted, applications for new licenses or whatever the case may be. So most people already have, but the ones that haven't, they just need to go create an account. link their license or licenses if they have more than one license that renews this year, and then they're ready to go. That renewal button will appear when the time comes, and they'll click on it, upload their certificates, pay their renewal. I think there's a couple questions in there that they have to answer, and that's it.
Do we have a stat of like out of the 8,800 people that are renewing, 2,000 of them already have an account, 6,000 of them already have an account? Do we have any kind of?
Yeah, and unfortunately, because Connect is still very new, they haven't developed our reporting side of it yet, so we're not able to pull reports like that.
Right.
Eventually, we'll be able to do that, but yeah, as of right now, we don't have a way to pull
Okay,
that.
so yeah, I just want to encourage the board of like, especially people that have been licensed for over several couple of years, the individual licensee is so used sometimes to the company taking care of this for them that just thinking like, oh, a couple emails went out to the licenses, like they see like renewal and they just like turn it off like, oh, my company's going to let me know. So we need to make sure, I don't know how we go about that, like to let them know like this is on you.
Yeah,
You have your own individual account. So just making sure we stay on top of that.
So we're going to continue with our outreach efforts. Also, they will get postcards in the mail, so they're not going to not get anything. They will get something in the mail twice, just like they normally would, but this time instead of it being a renewal slip, it's going to be a postcard that they'll get. They should start getting in the beginning of May. It'll go out the end of April, beginning of May. That'll tell them that their license is up for renewal and where to go to do that.
Okay, and the operator, branch manager, they're also getting something as well, right? The qualifying manager, like the company is getting a statement letting them know that, hey, your individual field reps are going to be needing to do this?
No, they don't. And that's kind of part of our outreach efforts, is that we're sending the companies that have email addresses on record kind of the information.
Okay, so we are then. Okay.
It's not coming, you're not getting like a postcard or anything that's automatically coming.
Yeah.
You're just going to get, and we've already sent that. Did you not get anything for that? The company probably did, because I know you guys have an email address in there.
Yeah.
So you probably got that. Somebody there did, but I can.
I know about it, so that's what, yes, I obviously got something.
Yeah.
I got something as well.
Perfect, yeah. So we're going to continue with that, because I don't just want to say it one time, but we wanted to get a head start on it, because licensees and companies can be helping your licensees to get started.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of help from the companies making sure that the licensees are actually doing this.
Yes.
And, yeah.
I think getting it set up and started this initial year, it's going to take some effort. I mean, I know the companies oftentimes do a lot for the individuals, but I think it's going to be along the same lines. I mean, you're probably going to want to keep track on maybe an Excel of everybody that renews and make sure that their licenses are renewed before the deadline comes. If not, then maybe follow up with them. But I think in turn, once we get through this first cycle, we're going to see how beneficial it is to have online renewals, that I hope it's kind of a give and take thing, where we had this old outdated process where there was deficiency after deficiency. Their licenses were not getting renewed because they sat in deficiency because they didn't clear it, and then eventually get canceled because they didn't take care of it.
I think we are 100% on board with the direction it's headed. We're so excited for it. It's just, so there's no question about that at all. It's just how much, I don't want to use the word babysitting, but like how much we just need to because it's a change, how much we need to see that.
Yeah.
Especially first time.
We want to help with that. I mean, that's what we're here for. That's why we started the outreach early and making sure that everybody knows what they need to do. We're working on the user guide at this point. The system is still under development, so it's hard to get that user guide set up without being able to get in there and actually take images. But we're going to do our best. And if you have ideas or things that you would like to see us do, please let me know for sure. Because whatever we need to do, oftentimes, we don't think about everything that happens in the field. I know Scott had filled me in on kind of some things that happen, maybe some technical shortfalls sometimes with staff, and they need a little bit more support. So if there's something that you can think of that we could help with specifically, definitely let me know.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really excited. We're heading in that direction with it.
Me too.
Quick question on the other one. So as part of this new process, they'll be required to upload the certificates after completion?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So in the renewal form that's online, they'll upload those certificates. They'll enter their total hours. They'll answer a couple of questions, and then they'll pay and submit. Or there's an attestation, and then they'll pay and submit. And then it's as easy as that. And then 24, 48 hours, they'll see it renewed online.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then will we know if they're deficient of, because we always sign that form of, I've completed my 16 hours or 12 hours and they sign. And then if they get audited, we generally send their certificates in. So the company will be able to see, or somebody at the company will be able to check on the structural list of licenses if it's updated, or where do we check this if it's updated?
It would be the same site. So on DCA search, you're going to see that expiration date change. It'll be the same process. The beauty of the online renewals is that there's not going to be deficiencies. They have to enter certain things to proceed and submit.
So if they don't, they sign saying they've done the 12 hours, but let's say they didn't submit one of the certificates, it won't update, or how will we get alerted of that just to make sure?
So that's going to be part of our audit process on the back end. So we actually audit the certificates.
Okay.
And it'll be a little bit different, but it'll be the same auditing
Same thing,
process.
hey, you're missing a certificate. Can
Exactly.
you please send that in to verify? Okay.
Exactly.
So you still do the audit process there?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
I've got a question. Can the program evolve to the point where continuing education upload is not required and the license will have he'll know where he's at before that because the board already has a tracking of the courses and the hours and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we actually had big dreams when we were first planning Connect, especially when it comes to renewals. We had a lot of dreams. I don't know how far Connect's going to be able to be developed at this point. I'm actually meeting with another board that was part of the modernization project before us that went into Connect. They actually did develop their CE processes in Connect. We didn't get that option, and well, I shouldn't say we didn't get that option. We have a scope of items, and we had to kind of figure out what's going to fit. And this is kind of where we are. I don't know if and when we'll get that, but I want to see what BMC1, the first project, what they got and how it works in there, because that might be something that we could actually enhance in the future. Of course, it would require an additional contract and more money, but I want to see what Connect can do. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping to get as a feel for, okay, can it collect rosters? Can it confirm the rosters? Can it validate the certificates? What can it do? So I'm hopeful to see what they developed is a better enhancement that we can eventually look at. But as of right now, it will be just the basic renewal. We had to kind of go with the out-of-box renewal because we did take a lot from the project for WDO. WDO was, of course, our priority, so that did take up a lot of our priorities. So, but at this point, we're still transitioning renewals online, which is great, but we'll definitely have, hopefully, future opportunities to further enhance that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Any other questions?
I just want to say overall, everybody's doing a lot with Connect, and there's, like you said, big dreams, but I think you do a really great job of making sure everybody has a really good experience with the first rollout, because nothing will kill something new or the newest thing faster than like a ton of glitches. So I think you guys do the right thing by making sure what you do works great. It's well communicated, and I know we just know as an industry it will continue to evolve because you do have to prioritize. But I think it's been great, and I look forward to just more and more updates as it comes out.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's definitely been a team effort, but we've come a long ways.
Yeah. Lots of work. That's
Yes, absolutely. But it's been fun. That's for sure. Okay. No more questions on that? Okay. And finally, exam modernization efforts. We're continuing efforts to improve the exam experience, including exploring additional language options for accessibility, while also reviewing the criterion referenced passing score method that we discussed our last board meeting in October. Right now, we're really just examining what it entails, trying to really understand it, the pros and cons and best practices from other boards. As we continue these efforts, we'll also be considering the legal requirements, exam integrity, and resources that we need, such as staffing and technology for any exam changes. As we have updates, we will continue to share, but right now I just kind of wanted to let you know kind of where we're at with that. Anybody have questions on that?
I mean, as far as passing percentages, this is pretty normal year over year.
Yes.
As far as applicators compared to field rep, compared to operators, this is right in the range of what we're used to.
Yeah, it is. There is always going to be some fluctuation. Yeah. We also actually have a couple exam plans that are being released in this month and then in April. Those exam plans are kind of fixing some areas that maybe needed some work over the years. So it's going to add some more content into the content specifications for exam preparation. So when they get the candidate handbook, there's some new content areas that are coming in. And so that should really help too, as well as our suggested study materials. They also just reevaluated that. And I glanced at it briefly this morning before the meeting, and I'm really excited to get that posted because it really seems like there's a much more thorough list. There's websites. When I first started, it was literally just books. And so now it's got websites. It's got different educational organizations. It's very thorough at this point. So that'll be published on our website as well, and under the exams tab. So there's a lot going on with our exams. And I think with what we have going on, I think it's all gonna really benefit the industry. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions on that? Okay. Well, that is it for me. Thank you all.
Thank you. Right. Thank you, Melissa. I'll now open the floor to public comment. Nope. All right.
No, I will before we move on to the enforcement update. I want to go back to my EO report really quick. There was one item that didn't make it on the agenda, but I wanted to give you guys an update on. That's Assembly Bill 2477. I did give you guys the handout. This bill was Assembly Member Chen. This was introduced earlier this week. And I just want to give you briefly an update on the bill. And it was in partnership with California Pest Management Association, this bill. The language currently in print that's in front of you is essentially a placeholder to meet the bill introduction deadline. We do expect amendments, so what I'm sharing with you today is the policy concept rather than the final language. So under current law 8551.5, unlicensed employees may apply for branch 2 or 3 pesticides of hire strictly for training purposes under direct supervision. Direct supervision, as used in this particular section, means in the presence of a licensed field rep or operator at all times. After that period, they must be licensed. CAPMA's proposal, or AB 2477, would create a limited provisional supervision period for individuals who have applied for a branch 2 or 3 applicator license. Specifically, it would allow an unlicensed individual who has submitted a completed application, completed at least 80 hours of documented in-person training, to continue applying pesticides under direct supervision for up to 60 additional days while their application is pending. Direct supervision, as used in this new section, shall comply with applicable direct supervision requirements of the Department of Pesticide Regulation, so not physically present. The provisional period could only be used once per application. would begin upon completion of submission and would end upon the issuance of a license, the denial of the license, or expiration of the 60 days, whichever comes first. It also cannot overlap or extend the existing 90-day training period. CAPMA's stated goal is to address workforce shortages and delays related to exam scheduling, application processing, and live scan clearance, particularly for small businesses, while maintaining direct supervision and documentation safeguards. So as the bill moves forward, the amendments are further developed. I'll keep you all updated. We will continue to evaluate how it's going to impact the board, and keep you all informed, and hopefully have a lot more information for you at the next meeting. But we're not complete with our analysis quite yet. Once we do have that, we'll share that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome to keep us updated on. So the board doesn't have a stance because you guys haven't completed the analysis yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the language, right now as it's proposed, there are some things that I have concerns with that CAPMA's fully aware of, such as fingerprint clearance. That I think, our mandate is consumer protection. So before even with this temporary type of license, they should have their fingerprint clearance back.
That person's by themselves.
Exactly. Exactly.
That was a concern.
So that was a big concern. So they are okay with that. So I know, they're working with me. Melissa and I met with them already, and we're going to continue to meet with them, work on the language. They really want our approval and support. So the board's approval and support. So it sounds like they're being flexible with the language. And they did also include in there that it would become effective, even though it's introduced now, would be signed by the governor towards the end of this year in October, wouldn't take effect until January of 2028, to allow the board time to make sure we're implementing this correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you say working with CAPMA, like Christelle, or like they have a committee?
I don't have, Jim Steed was on the meeting,
Okay.
and that's who first reached out to me. And he did say he was going to be here wanted to provide public comment, but something must have come up.
Okay.
So.
And like any other legislation, this is not the last time you're going to hear about this, and it's going to be, it might look completely different next time you hear about it or see it. So it's a stay tuned moment.
Yeah, just if there's any.
They put language in there just as a placeholder, because there's a deadline.
Right.
So.
Yeah, once there's analysis done, if you need me to help out with any way of like convincing CAPMA that like whatever our stance is, just let me know if they're not cooperating or listening or whatnot.
Okay,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'd love to get involved with that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
That was all I had.
That'll be interesting to see it through its process.
Thank you.
That'd be great. Okay. So we're done with the license update. You're good?
Yes.
All right. So I'll open the floor to public comment for licensing update. Okay. None with that. So move on to agenda item 10, enforcement update. We'll have Enforcement Manager Holly Glassner will present the enforcement update.
How's this? Yeah. All right. So I would like to have you point out agenda item A. Is that right? We have got the first 2 quarters of this fiscal year. We have seen an increase of our consumer complaint cases. The previous year come from the, let me start that again. From the previous fiscal year. I was actually looking into because there was quite a difference in the first quarter of this fiscal year compared to last. We did have a increase due to our audit for CE. So anything that comes through, anybody who doesn't pass their CE, if there's going to be a citation for that, a case has to be open. There was an increase on top of those numbers. I believe that it's because of the ease in which you can now file a complaint on the Connect system. It's very easy. We've gotten more complaints have come in complete because of the Connect system. They can literally upload all of the documents that they need to send to us. We're not having to follow up for a month to try to get documents. They're already being provided to us. The numbers that you're seeing here also do not include the complaint cases that we've been receiving an increase of for things that we don't have jurisdiction on. Things like my landlord isn't taking care of our building, or a hotel that I'm staying at is, got bed bugs. We will get all sorts, which has been kind of nice because we used to receive those types of calls and complaints, but didn't have a way to kind of give them the information that we knew because we had so many calls regarding this type of thing. Now, because we actually forced them to give us an email address, we're able to address it and move on to the complaint cases that we're actually processing through Connect, which has been incredible. If you notice on the first quarter citations issued, there's a giant increase in that. And I wanted to point out that is because of the CE audit. So the audit of the continuing education was finished and we processed almost 60 total for that. So let's see here. Our enforcement survey, we actually, in the last quarter of 2025, the enforcement unit had 6 responses to our surveys that were sent out. Just another reminder, our numbers are always a little bit low on surveys because we don't actually send them out to the consumers until the complaint case is closed. And so we will usually get about 6 to 8 responses is what I've seen has been fairly typical. I'm very proud to say that our survey for that last quarter of 2025 was 100% very satisfied. So that makes me very, very happy with my peeps. We're actually going to be working on developing a survey for field investor cases. The current survey that we send out doesn't address cases that are specifically sent to the field. It's kind of more of a generic survey of their experience for the complaint case. But we've talked a bit about field cases take a little bit longer. And so once a case is closed in the field, it can take about 6, 8, 9 months for it to be written up, processed, and back to headquarters. So by that time, getting a survey for a case that's been closed in your mind as a consumer 9 months back, it's just going to take a little bit of figuring out how to word those questions because it seems like a long time, but there's been work done since the closure of the case. So we'll be working on that. We're also going to be working on a review of kind of our processes within the headquarters analysts for enforcement unit. Our processes, who does what, the cite and fine desk specifically hasn't really been reviewed in quite some time. So we want to audit that process, making sure that it's kind of being done in a way that is efficient. It just seems like nobody's really taken a look at that in a while. So it's going to be one of our focuses, as well as the analyst in the headquarters, our processes, how we're doing intake, and then going forward through each case, how it's being handled. And I think that is all for me. Do you have any questions on anything?
I had a question.
Yeah.
So on the summary, the memo that you provided.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, is there a way to provide an overview of what happens to the complaints and the arrests? For instance, quarter 1, 188 complaints were received, 12 were referred for further investigation. So what happened with the 176 that weren't? Were those not legitimate complaints? And then what happens to the 12 that were?
Yeah, there are some that don't go through the whole process. But typically with the 188 received, they're either solved at the desk level, meaning that our analysts here at headquarters have mediated the issue between parties.
Okay.
And then if it's something where we kind of know that it's going to need a hands-on or eyes on the property, that's when they're transferred to the field.
Okay.
So yeah, the bulk, the ones that I see that kind of are open and close fairly quickly are usually like a branch 2 contract, meaning like a general pest control contract that someone is not aware of what they're signing or saying that, they want to get out of a contract, that type of thing. But if we can mediate it at the desk level without having to send it out into the field, that's what we try to do.
Okay. And what about the arrests? Again, Q1, 38 weren't referred for further investigation, 53 were referred for investigation. And again, not just what happened to the 38, but what about those 53 that are eventually investigated? What's the kind of general outcome for those?
Yeah. So with the 91 that come in and are received, they're reviewed for what happened, what type of arrest, what type of, is a felony, is a misdemeanor. And then Ronnie O'Flattery, she's the one who does all of our WDO. She also processes these. So she'll review them as they come in and then makes that decision, depending on what the arrest is for, to move forward with a case until the case is finished at the court level, or to go ahead and close it because it was, let's say, a traffic violation, that kind of thing. So yeah, and I can be more specific on these if you'd like moving forward.
I'm curious. I don't know if there's a necessarily way to categorize them more than you already do. But
And for the subsequent arrest cases, Ronnie and I work really closely together on those to determine, if it's a DUI, something like that. Right. If it warrants a further, a case to be opened. As far as the desk investigations and those, the 12 going to further investigation to the specialist or investigator, when I started, a little shortly after I started, I changed the way the enforcement analysts were processing. I felt that we're processing these complaint cases. I felt that a lot of, everything was going to the field. And I felt that a lot of those investigations can be done at the desk level and save the board money. Not everything warranted our specialist or investigator. So they're mediating a whole lot more. They're doing desk investigations and able to close a lot of those out. So it streamlined our process.
okay, thank you.
Do we still have, is it 5 enforcement investigators? Are we filled on that position? Are we needing to be filled? I mean, here's one.
I believe we have.
Mom, as we asked.
Here I am.
Yeah, I believe there's 7, and we're
full. Our staffing, is full
two
for the
northern,
field.
and then the rest down southern, all the way down to the end of San Diego.
We
Yeah.
feel good. We're full with that. We have the right amount and all that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like no matter what, there's certain areas that will always have more field investigations just because the weather is perfect for termites and terrible.
Yeah.
So like, for example, San Diego, always very, very, very busy down there. Right now, also Orange County, for some reason, we're getting a lot of complaints that need the Orange County specialist to deal with. San Bernardino right now as well.
Okay.
So
yeah, I asked the question just because of the comment of we're handling a lot of them at the desk and seeing the stats of 12 were given out, 15 were given out. And just it seems like that number's is lower than before because we're handling
the quarter,
at the desk level.
Yeah.
And are we appropriately staffed for them?
Gotcha. And yeah, we are opening a bit more desk investigation for things that we never did in the past, like when we're doing our WDO audits. If it ends up being something that we have to do a lot of work on, we want to open a case so that you guys know that that type of work is being done. We're doing more work at the desk level on things like somebody's not filing their WDO or they no longer have workers' comp insurance,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So we want to make sure that
They weren't necessarily all being put into the complaint system
Exactly.
and tracked.
Yeah.
we were
Before.
just doing it.
And we weren't capturing that workload. And so I immediately, we changed that, as well as the citations. They were not being put into our, they call it the Consumer Affairs System. That's our tracking system, CAS. And so when I came on board, it was like where, didn't understand the reports that were being pulled because it was saying 0 citations issued. I'm like, where, we manually count those. Oh, if we're having to manually count anything, that we got to see what the problem is there. So that process really changed a couple years ago. And so the numbers, are more accurate now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then just on the chart at the bottom of the WDO activity, that's just tracking last year compared to this year of how many people are WDO reports that were submitted.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, December was that,
You see that jump?
40% drop.
Well, no, that's a 40% increase.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't really see the color on this because the table is the negative are the drops.
Oh yeah, December. I was talking about October. Sorry, I was talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
October dropped.
So
now
that's when
went up 38%.
That we can explain. The system, the old legacy system, the WDO system, we had to shut it down for a certain period of time, and that was in October, to transition all of the data into the new system. So there was a good, how many weeks were we down?
I want to say it was at least 6.
Yeah. It was like a blackout period.
Starting October 17th.
That was in October. And that was, but you see that big jump from November to December? That was catching up when the system went live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But
it's
we-
off because of that.
And we waived for that blackout period, there's the 10-day requirement to get activity in. So we waived that until the system came back up, and then we gave additional time to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. You guys are tracking with that.
All right, are there any other comments?
No.
I'd like to open up to public comment. All right. Moving on to agenda item 11, outreach and communication update. Administrative Analyst Christina Jackson Duran will present the outreach and communication update.
Hello. So in your board meeting materials, you guys have a detailed memo of our outreach efforts, communication, and engagements. But just to highlight them, for the email communications, we have seen about a 3.6% increase in subscribers to our email list, which is pretty on par with the last few years in reporting. Moving on to social media, we continue to post information to get, board-related materials out regarding, anything that's been any updates we have with the board, office closures, things like that. But more importantly, we have our WDO reporting, which was a big post. We were really excited to put out our WDO going live on Connect, as well as our town hall notices. Those were posted weekly, noticing those that follow us on social media that we're having these meetings. We provided links to the meetings each week as well. And then for our newsletter, we did kind of have to pause our efforts in producing a newsletter due to the increased workload for the WDO outreach efforts. But we have reconvened, and we will be producing a mini newsletter that will be going out in May. And it's going to be heavily focused on renewals because we're transitioning to the online Connect renewal system. So we're going to have a bunch of guides, resources, materials in there regarding the renewal process and whatnot. So look forward to that coming out soon. As far as our speaking engagements, we have staff that continue to go out and participate in in-person meetings, virtual meetings. We participated in 12 meetings or events since our last board meeting. Some of those presentations included board staff attending and presenting at the structural regulatory training, as well as the UCR Fume School and CATMA Pest Ed series. The topics ranged from the fume logs, updates regarding the fume log, occupants, fumigation notice, WDO, and just updates about our fee increase. And lastly, we did have an event just on yesterday. We were invited to attend the DPR IPM Achievement Awards, where we had a booth set up with just information about the board. We also, because it was related to IPM, we had highlighted our current research projects that were just funded because they all are related to IPM as well. So I don't know if Tom wanted to speak on that at all. He attended in person yesterday. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys, unless you guys have any questions for me.
No, I mean, the only comment is just, it's awesome to see. It's great to see the board out and about and going to all of these things. I was just down in Irvine for a termite academy put on by CAPMA, and Tom spoke at it, and he did an awesome job. And some of the other investigators were there.
Yep.
So it's really nice to see us out and about and trying to build that relationship with the termite, with the pest control, termite branch 2, branch 3 industry. So yeah,
Cool.
it makes it a lot more personal, like you're like, oh, it's a person. It's not right. Like that's a person. I talk to them. I'm not afraid to call and ask a question because when I first got in the industry, is like, if you saw Tom and Iken's name, you're like, I'm afraid of this person. But yeah, you start building a relationship, right? And you're seeing them out and about, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I've got a question, which is going to better and protect the consumer more. So yeah, so it's great. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. I'll now open the floor to public comment. Okay. Item number 12, public comment on items not on the agenda. So we'll now open the floor to public comments on the items not on today's agenda. Please note that the board cannot take action on these items, but may place them on a future agenda. Okay. No items. All right. Moving on to agenda item 13, future agenda items. Do any board members have topics they would like to add to a future agenda?
No.
Okay. No items noted. So I'll now open the floor to public comment. Moving on to agenda item 14, adjournment. It is now 11:55 a.m. and this meeting is now adjourned.